Hello, I'm Sheila Myers with Stamping Wishes. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we're going to be doing just a technique video. I'm not going to be completing any kind of card, but we're going to be doing the technique, which is whitewashing with an accent of your colored pencils being used on top of the whitewash to get a special effect. This is one of the cards that I made recently, and what I did, I don't know if you can see it, I left it off of these so you can see the difference, and I'm going to bring it up a little bit closer, but I put the Wink of Stella and it really finishes off these flowers beautifully. But this is the technique that I'm going to be showing you today. The first thing you're going to want to do is in your preparing your card, you'll want to use Versamark and your embossing powder, whether it's, whatever color you want to use depending on the style and the outcome that you want from it. I find that this technique has probably one of the prettier effects with the darker cardstock, so you may want to keep that in mind as you decide on the design that you want to do. But after you've embossed it, the next stage you're going to do is whitewashing, which I kind of started one. I'll start one here, and then we'll move on to coloring so that you won't have to sit through the whole thing. I've squeezed my ink, excess ink, on. This is our craft white ink, and I'm going to use a blender pen to bring in, not a blender pen, I'm sorry, an aqua painter to bring in the whitewash into the floral area. And you want to bring that in and just have a little bit of water on your brush, not excessively, but to just bring it in and whitewash it. As you can see, it's kind of washing over. I try and make the tips of the flower the brightest of the white because that's where I want my highlight, and then that's why I always start at the top, and then I move it into the center where I want it to be a little bit deeper colors. What this does kind of is to give like a different tooth or a texture to your cardstock, which allows your colored pencils to come across a little differently than it would be if you were using, say, regular Whisper White, or even I'm sorry about the phone. I'm sorry about the phone call interruption. I had to pause the video so that it wouldn't keep ringing during my discussion here. So you'll just continue, and when you need a little bit more water, just squeeze your aqua pen and bring it into your cardstock like this. And we'll go right in here a little bit more. I want to see a little bit more of that white there. As you can see on this particular card that I'm going to be doing, and I'll show you the finished card in my post tomorrow. I'm not going to finish it on the screen here, but I will finish it for the post, and you can see what the outcome of it was. But that's all you do with doing your whitewash, and then be sure and clean off your brush afterwards. And the next stage, after you've whitewashed, you want to make sure that you allow, because there's dampness on not only in your cardstock, but you want to allow this to dry all the way, and then this is what you'll get whenever it's completely done. The reason I've cut this out like I did and offset is my plans are in this card. This is going to be attached inside, and this portion's going to lift up. That's why I wanted it two-fold here, and then I'll put some other embellishments and accents around here as I finish up the card. So the colors I've chosen that I'm using is the Cherry Cobbler. I'm using the Flirty Flamingo for the two pink and reddish accent. For the center of the little balls there, I'm using the Daffodil Delight. And for the leaves, I'm using the Granny Apple Green and then the Olive Green together to kind of give that light and dark effect. So what I do is I start off with my, well, let's do a leaf since we've got a leaf here, and then we'll go to a flower. I like to start off with my lightest color and fill in as much of that. And it's kind of just a scribbling motion because you do want some of the streaking to go on. So after you've put that on, then you'll come back and do some streaking with your next color. And you'll get some of the darker colors in there. If you need to, I don't always need to, but if I need to blend the colors a little bit, I'll just come back, for example, with my, oh, I had a little bit of the white still in there. I'll just come back with some water and blend it if I need to do that with it. But again, before you go back over that, make sure that it's completely dry. And as I'm doing this, I like to, we're going to start with the dark in the flower area. And this way you can kind of see, you can just color all over it. And I'm trying to flow with the shape of the flower so it'll continue to give the dimension of that flower. This is really become one of my favorite sets. That it was just released August the 1st, and it's available until August 31st. It's called the Blended Seasons. So I'll show you the stamp set when we get done here. And if you haven't put that on your list of ones to have, you really should get it. The stamps are just all beautifully designed and come out so crisp in whatever technique that you use. So now I'm bringing the Flirty Flamingo. I'm going to bring it kind of towards the edges, but again, kind of using that stroking up and down because I want it just to kind of blend into the white, but not completely cover the white. That's where you kind of get some of that dimension and effects from it. Okay, and there again, if I wanted to blend any of the colors, you know, if I feel like they need it, you can just run over it real quickly with your white, with your clear water, and just blend it on in there. I find a lot of times it's really not necessary to do. I'll do one more. Let's do these flowers and maybe one more leaf, and then we'll move on to finishing up this technique today, and then come join my post tomorrow that I'll have the finished design there. I'm going to go with the lighter pink in the inside of the bud areas. Assuming that because the buds are closed, you can't really see the darkness of the flower yet until it starts to bloom. So that's why I'm using the lighter shade like that. And then I'm just going to come back with a little bit of the dark. Okay. So let's go with one of the larger leaves just so you can kind of get the effect of it. Again, we're doing that kind of streaky up and back forth. I don't even know what to call it, but I kind of feel like it's almost like scribbling a little bit. And then you want to come with the dark wherever you feel like you need some of that dark to blend in there. And then we'll blend a little bit of that color and then leave it. Isn't that beautiful? It's such a quick and fast technique, and the results, you can use so many different colors. If you go with say a lighter color cardstock, and I may have time to finish one of those samples out tonight, but if you go with a lighter cardstock, let's say white background, then of course you're going to want to use your darker colors to lift this out. You'll still use your whitewash effect on it. It just won't have the same, it'll kind of be a brighter white. It's just going to kind of blend with it, but it's going to give you the tooth that you need on the texture of the cardstock to get this nice streaking effect in. I would highly recommend that because it looks gorgeous. It doesn't do it justice, I'm sure, on the camera, but to go ahead and bring your Wink Estella into your project after you're finished, it just really makes the whole thing pop. Okay, so that's our technique for today, and I hope you enjoyed the video and that you'll subscribe and join me in future videos, and be sure and link down to my blog. I'll have this card finished and posted for your viewing tomorrow. Thank you, and God bless, and happy stamping.